To say it's been one heck of a launch for Star Wars Battlefront II would be an understatement. Our voices over its undeniably pay-to-win micro-progression system could not be ignored. EA is on the fritz. Disney has stepped in like a pissed-off parent, and people are mad. Really mad. As I attempted to portray in my analysis of the game, the microtransaction system sucks and is holding the rest of the game hostage. A game that's actually pretty good this time around. The great failure of this entire situation is that the efforts of a great studio, DICE, are getting glazed over like a starry-eyed kid at a donut store. Sure, the campaign is just whatever, but where it counts, the multiplayer is pretty freaking awesome. When you don't get destroyed by Tier 4 epic star cards and Luke Skywalker, that is. The financial position of EA prior to Battlefront 2 has been incredibly strong. Andrew Wilson hopped on to EA as CEO in 2013 when the company was basically in the shitter, aka when the stock price was at its lowest it had ever been in 12 years running. But Andrew got up on the saddle, and ever since mounting its bleeding ass, EA has been one of, if not the highest earning AAA publisher out there. A complete 180. But where did all this success actually suddenly come from? Well, you guys know the story. He pushed for games as a service right out of the gates in 2013. He saw the opportunity for taking every single thing he could find and spinning it into a digital service, starting with the terrible treatments of Dead Space 3 and of course Dungeon Keeper Mobile. Then it was on to ruin SimCity a few months later by ramshackling it with forced DRM and all that bullshit. And don't forget adding the dreaded online pass for their multiplayer games, the milking of long-standing franchises like Need for Speed and Medal of Honor, and of course getting down with the dirtiness of Day 1 DLC in practically every one of their freaking games. But alas, such practices are both anti-consumer and bad for the industry, yet ironically good for accelerating profit margins. We accepted these things for a long time. We carried out our spending, supported the bad practices, and really never seemed to mind. Not all of us, but most of us. The proof is in the pudding. Quarter after quarter, their success rises in every department. But we did speak up with Battlefront 2. They shut down the microtransactions, a small victory with greater implications. The battle is won, but the war is far from over. Now, EA has stated that microgambling will return to Battlefront 2, yet refused to say that it's a real gambling issue. They won't admit that putting shiny boxes in front of wayward consumers doesn't tempt them, that the charming allure of locked-off content won't get gamers to have a lapse in judgment. But I would argue that that's all horse manure, as we know these things can be quite addicting, especially when the experience surrounding them pushes you towards them. It's clear to me, someone who has put about 25 hours into the multiplayer so far of Battlefront 2, that they are a big freaking problem. At first, I wanted to believe that EA was going to fix them, that they cared, that it was a trade-off for a no-season pass game and free future content that was worth it. You know, to keep the community together and make sure everyone has access to the new maps and modes. Ideally, honestly, it's the best of both worlds. But that story would only be true if what you could get in the crates didn't affect people, didn't push people towards power towards the powerless, didn't make the game grindy and drive you mad with how long everything takes to get. If publishers want to put this crap in games, go ahead. Just make sure it's cosmetic. Like really, give us some costumes and some skins. That's all we really want, to look cool. Just make the goddamn playing field equal for everybody and let us pay to look cool. That's all we want in games. I don't really know what to think anymore though. Nor does Wall Street. Some of them and the investors pushed back, selling their interest in the company. EA stock price fell about $4 overnight during this fiesta. Shares dropping 3-ish% does sound kind of small, but it's actually a pretty big deal for a company that holds a stock price of just over $100. Battlefront 2 isn't just a fool's dream to people. We love Star Wars, we love DICE, and we want this game to be good. It's the first time that we've seen real financial implications on a scale like this for EA. The news is all over it, and investors are looking at it deeply. I'm not here to start a conspiracy theory saying that, EA is doomed and is going bankrupt tomorrow morning. I'm simply saying that, man, we've got the power to bring out some real change these days, to alter games in development and change them after being built. Can you put a value on that? Can you put a value on this Reddit post, or the thousands of cries and tirades over the internet? If nothing else, Battlefront 2 will be known for the time when we took a stand for all the crap that have riddled our games in the past few years. But it's almost as if this entire situation, this outbreak, was much larger in scope than just loot boxes, but more about consumer advocacy, a much stronger backlash to the entire corporate machine, as if this moment has been festering for years now, lying in wait to explode, a fight against bad things in gaming. Once the ashes fall, I think we will hopefully see some good change, not from just EA, but from other publishers like Ubisoft and Activision. Call me a sucker, call me an optimist, but I think people and things are capable of change. I would love to see the state of gaming return to authenticity, to good games that don't try to bankrupt us. To a time before DLC was an abbreviation for don't lock content out of my base game. A time when the words wrapped in services don't ever get uttered by Andrew Wilson again. So EA has estimated Battlefront will sell 14 million units, duration unknown, probably by the end of the year. If they don't, I hope this will be the great lesson for them. Start listening to us because we know what we want, and if we don't get it, we won't buy your games. But I also think it's very important, guys, to keep a grounded mindset at this entire situation though. I've seen some pretty nasty things thrown at EA, and that's really not necessary. Be the bigger person here, speak up, join in on the conflict, but do so constructively. Thanks for watching, guys, really appreciate it. Do me a favor and drop me a comment, tell me what you think about this situation down below. Have a great day and we'll see you in our next video. Peace, love, and happiness till then, guys. Take care.